Black fatigue. It is a topic right now that seems to be trending and everyone seems to be talking about it, man. People have their opinions on it. I would be remiss if I did not give my opinion on the word black fatigue because I think it's inaccurate. I think the correct term should be N-word fatigue. And the reason why I say that is there is plenty of black people, and I've stated this before, that do not want violence. They do not want to be disrespected. They don't want to be disrespectful. They don't want to be loud and obnoxious. They don't want to just think that the world revolves around them and take no accountability for their actions. There's plenty of black people that do not behave in a ghetto type fashion. Do not. And is appalled by it. And there was someone who actually said this, and I'm paraphrasing here, but she said, we are allowing the worst of the community to be the face of the community. And I agree, because I think by and large, the black community does not want this ghetto type behavior, and they do not want to express that type of behavior. I didn't always think this way, to be quite honest with you. Full disclosure, didn't always think this way when I was younger. I was indoctrinated. I'm older. I have children. And you know something? I want my family safe. I want your family safe. So let's get into this topic, man. This hot topic of black fatigue. I like to call it N-word fatigue.
Now to black fatigue, it has recently been turned into a feeling that some white and black people have who say they are damn tired of foolishness of some black people. The
Facts.
Claims of racism from sunup to sundown, loud talking, fighting, and the list goes on. Not my list
Facts.
now, keep that in mind. But some people are tired of the complaints and don't give a damn.
You tired
Here's
of it
what
too,
one
brother.
TikTok user had to say about it.
Not racist, and I know y'all have been told this is racist, but it's not. It's not racist to call black people out for their behavior and what they're doing to society at this moment. I'm glad people are noticing this because it's been so many years and it's finally catching up to y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all that white people are tired of y'all. I'm tired of y'all too, but everybody, the world is getting sick of y'all and y'all's. I'm so glad this day is here. I've been trying to get out there that you people need help. It's me, but me and other black conservatives. We've been trying to warn society that this is what it's going to come to when y'all keep coddling black people.
All righty, are her feelings valid? Joining us to talk about it, Dr. Angela Jones, political analyst, Angela Box, activist, Eugene Howard.
Real quick, I believe her feelings are legitimate. I know a lot of black people, black Americans, Americans of the black community that feel exactly like this. I am one of them, and I felt this way for a long time. And you're seeing a lot of people step up and speak out about this. So let's continue.
Filmmaker Sean Welling and conservative M. Williams. We want to thank you all for joining us here on The Factor. First of all, let's define what black fatigue is supposed to be, Dr. Jones.
Black fatigue is supposed to be just and I'm trying to make it as short as possible. Basically, society is saying that they're tired of how black people are blaming things that have happened to us historically in the past on what's happening today. And they are also now adding different things that they have seen in society to that behavior as well. As she said, like loud mouthing or maybe, using certain words or certain behaviors in public. So that's basically the definition in a short sense.
Do we get anywhere with that, with this conversation?
No, this absolutely
okay, good night, folks.
I mean, the thing is, it's an absolutely pointless conversation. It's like, okay, so now what? Thank you for letting us know that there's a new fancy word of you saying that you're tired of black people, and you put it on the internet, and now people are co-signing on it, including with the way the environment is already. But it's okay. You put a nice new name to it, and now you feel like it's okay to say, and it's not going to do anything for anybody to now pander this term around, to pass it on in the internet and put it in people's mouth and make people feel encouraged to say, I have black fatigue. But when we're all tired, when I'm saying we're all tired of something and somewhere, there's always something. So this is not actually going to help anyone psychologically, mentally, emotionally. It's only going to create more divisiveness, more anger, and more hate in society.
I think it's interesting that she says we're all tired, because when the BLM movement was at its peak and people were saying, well, all lives matter, people who were for the Black Lives Matter movement got offended and said, well, no. You guys are trying to hijack our movement. She sounds very similar to that, sounds very similar. Oh, well, we're all tired. Look, we're specifically talking about N-word fatigue. I do believe it's misnamed. I think that the correct name should be N-word fatigue, and that goes with the loud, obnoxious, disrespectful behavior. The behavior that says, I can act any way that I want and feel like I should be able to get away with it. I can say racial epithets with impunity. At least that's the mentality. And if someone says anything back to me, then I'm going to handle it with violence. I'm going to handle it with being confrontational, angry. I'm going to call you a racist, even if the person is saying racist things, saying racial epithets, and someone says it back to them, they become the victim. Now all of a sudden, they're emotional. They're angry. This is the behavior that people are tired of. And once again, it has become the face of the black community.
And when we see a lot of people, especially black people, joining that chorus, saying that I'm tired of black people too,
Facts.
what will that do?
It's not going to do anything, because here's the thing, that black person or the black people that are on the internet saying that can go somewhere and they're going to be already stereotyped into the group that they're trying to separate themselves from just because they're black. You actually have to be around people to see their behavior. You have to witness their behavior to actually understand who they are. But she could sit there and be in a crowd of a room of black people, and guess who she's going to be included in that group as well. She's not doing anything that is going to help her or her race at this time.
I disagree. I think that talking out against ghetto type behavior, ignorant type behavior, I think that it is beneficial, because people will understand, okay, there's like-minded people. There's plenty of people that are like-minded people of all nationalities, right? There's going to be some people that totally understand that this is not all black people's behavior, and it's going to be people from different nationalities that understand this. I think it is beneficial to speak out against bad behavior, and that's what we're speaking out against. And we have to hold our own people accountable. We have to stop using racism as an excuse. We have to stop holding on to, oh, well, I can act any way that I want with impunity, and you have to deal with it. And then in our own communities, be our own worst enemies. It's like, well, we have hate for each other and we have hate for everyone else. And if you don't like it, deal with it. And people are done dealing with it. They're done excusing it. People have taken this situation, man, and they've abused it. They've totally abused this behavior.
All right, Angela, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this
Angela.
black fatigue.
Well, with all due respect to Angela, number one, I really disagree with this. It is a completely behavior-based issue. And when white people, black people, Hispanic people are saying we have black fatigue because of the behavior of some black people. We've all seen it. We all know what it is. It's everywhere. And, you know, the issue is way more insidious than people realize. And I talk about how a lot of these things come back to what the Democrat Party has done to the black community purposefully, starting with the Great Society of Lyndon B. Johnson, who he famously said, I'm going to have these N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. When Democrats said you don't need fathers in the home, you can be on welfare and have as many babies as you want. And oh, by the way, we're going to destroy public schools and we're going to make sure that behavior standards are seen as racist. So the out of control behavior that we've seen in the classrooms, in society, all over, is part and parcel of what the Democrat Party has done to the black community.
All right, Eugene, let's hear from you before we have to take a break.
Man, why are we all? What does the Democrat Party have to do with black fatigue?
Everything.
Hold on. Okay, first of all, I think he asked Eugene. So last time I checked, I'm Eugene on the stage. So the Democratic Party has nothing to do with black fatigue. What the original term from the actual black community of black fatigue was after every other community decided to vote, since you want to talk politics, Donald Trump, then black folks said, we're going to sit this one out. We're going to let this thing burn down and we're going to go have a good time because we're tired. We have been struggling. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents, our great-great-great-great-great-grandparents have been fighting this same fight. So if you guys want to turn around, you know, he said the N-word, why don't you guys feel so comfortable, just say it. Just go ahead and say the N-word. We're you know, if it's so okay, if you're so fatigued, if you don't want to recognize the civil rights plight, go ahead and say the N-word. No one's stopping you. It's a free country,
not on
right?
this show, Eugene.
I mean, I'm just
about
saying.
to lose me my show.
but
What is this brother talking about, man? You know, hey, look, we're talking about behavior. People are tired of a certain behavior, and once again, this certain behavior became the face of a race, of a community, and people are tired of it. You sitting up here trying to tell people, oh, say the N-word, say the N-word. Look, this white lady over here ain't trying to say the N-word. You're not trying to set her. She's not trying to be set up by you, man. Let's get to the issue. The issue is black fatigue. Okay, I personally think black fatigue is actually, I don't know, I think it's a misnomer. I actually think it's N-word fatigue. Okay, don't challenge this lady to sit up here and say the N-word. And that's actually not on topic. It's irrelevant. Okay. She is talking about behavior, the behavior that has been pervasive throughout the black community, that has been allowed to become the face of the black community. And people are tired of dealing with this type of behavior. Okay, we're done. And even black people are done with it. We're done. We black people that want peace in their lives, they wanna walk through the world with respect, give people respect, and not always be looking for confrontation and looking for a problem. You know, you have people that are always in a fight or flight mode. Always, man. We trying to be peaceful. We trying to be a productive citizen, man, for our entire country. You know, this behavior has gone on too long, man, and I think that we need to correct it.
that's my point. It's a lot of things that they want to use code words, whether it's DEI, whether it's black fatigue. They just want to be able to say the N-word without being able to say the N-word.
So do you not find certain behaviors objectionable? Or you think it's cool?
Listen, I live in a real community. I see a whole bunch of unruly white folks, Hispanic folks. So it's not just the black community, but we always want to emphasize on black when it's negative.
All right, we'll take a break there. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue our discussion after the break. As a conservative, your thoughts about black fatigue?
Well, whether you like black fatigue as a name or not, it's the truth. Like, we're tired of the victimhood mentality, the trauma identification, the need for external, agreement. That's ridiculous. That's terrible for the black community right now. That's terrible for the children growing up. I mean, there's so many broken homes, and I think that's the core foundation. Number one, I believe the core foundation is that the parents failed to not only unify the home, but also failed to put true identity in God in the children. So if you don't have identity in God, you don't have identity at all. That's number one.
Do you at all see the black community as a lost cause, or just
Absolutely
some
not.
individuals? what?
I don't believe the black community is a lost cause at all. I just believe that we need to stop as a whole with all of this complaining. We need to move past the past and, you know, become better. You know, as an American, my parents were actually Nigerian. They came here in the 80s and they grew up here. They had me and my brothers, and we're all successful and not one complaint through our entire childhood. They said, work for what you need, work for what you're gonna get, and you will get it. God placed talent in all of us, black, white, whatever you may, you know, call yourself, but God placed, you know, all of these great things within us. Why should I now say, oh, well, a white person thinks this of me, or there's racism here and there? I don't think about that. I don't wake up every morning and have racism and all of these negative things on my mind. I move forward and I move past that.
All right, Sean, let's hear from you. Your thoughts about this conversation.
I agree with her 100%. Her family's from Nigeria. Her and her siblings, no complaining, just hard work. Just hard work, man. And it paid. It paid, no excuses, hard work, and it paid off.
And the term that we now hear.
And again, I was so taken by your speech. The term we're talking about is black, what was it again? It's
fatigue.
Okay, so on black fatigue, and come from somebody, and I think I agree with her tremendously, having a school for 3 decades, it was the first hip-hop dance school in the country. It's a cancer to tell a young kid that they're oppressed, that they're less than, and the world's against them. Right from the beginning, you're setting a standard by which they have to overcome something, when really you need to put God in them and tell them how great things are for them.
Amen.
So I was never around black people to complain. All the actors and dancers I was around, they had a sense of purpose. They were dynamic, and they never complained. So to me, it's really what I get is in social media is a lot of white people complaining and creating this problem, saying, look, watch out, these people are in trouble. I'm like, back off. Let them create their own destiny.
Absolutely.
So I don't see that as being the black issue. I see more of a liberal white situation when they're not even in a position to complain or talk about it. They're virtue signaling, and it drives us nuts.
Okay.
Dr. Jones?
You know, the conversation that we're having here is whether black fatigue is a real thing. But the problem is that the reason this topic has come back up is because of the viral video that recently came out of the woman that called a 5-year-old autistic kid the N-word. And then she raised $700,000 by a Christian organization, and I am Christian as well, so I just want to put
Black fatigue was happening way before that. So this is inaccurate. Black fatigue has been happening for a long time. Okay, you're seeing videos that go viral because of different situations. The situation that she's referring to, I think, is Shiloh Hendricks. That is true. She did raise, I think, close to $1 million, or maybe over $1 million now. But black fatigue, or like I like to call it, N-word fatigue, has been going on for a long time now. As a matter of fact, it's been going on for a long time in the black community for almost as probably my whole adult childhood. I mean, I'm sorry, probably my whole adult life. I've had these conversations, even in my teenage years. I've had these conversations with different people, friends and family, and we share the same thoughts. We share the same thoughts on this particular topic.
That out there as well. And she raised $300,000 from another organization. I don't know if she actually got that money, but then this video from the person who originally started putting this on TikTok came out in reference to that.
Yeah.
Now, I am a first generation American as well, and I was taught a certain way as well. But what we cannot ignore is the things that have set us back as a community. The reason we are not where we're supposed to be is because we are still only a couple of decades away from what we have been oppressed from and the things that we have gone
Constantly
from.
looking at the past.
My grandma,
Really quick, let Dr. Jones talk.
Okay, and so my grandmother, who just passed away last week, was there for the civil rights, was there for everything like that, and I was there to see all of those things as well. It cannot be ignored that these things are still oppressing in our community. I understand, and I actually agree. Like, I was instilled hard work, go to school, do what you're supposed to do, and I did. But I'm not going to sit there and ignore as though the people in my community, not everyone had that opportunity. So at the end of the day, to say like, yes, we're tired of it, but let's go in every community. We could sit there and say there's white fatigue, there's Hispanic fatigue, there's Asian fatigue, there's fatigue in everywhere. But the problem is that they're always emphasizing the black community as the pitch. It's the behavior in every
The
community.
behavior is the problem. Now, here's what's disgusting. We're coming up on the 5-year
And we got 30
anniversary
seconds,
of
guys.
St. George, Florida fentanyl dying. And every white liberal,
stop.
and
He
excuse
had
me,
his
every
knee
white
on his
liberal,
neck.
every white liberal on planet Earth said
I'm not letting her
that
spew a
George
lie.
Floyd is the
He had
epitome
his
of
knee
black
on the
people,
neck.
and we had
There was
billions
a
and
knee
billions
on
of
the
dollars
neck.
that didn't cause his death. He wasn't murdered.
That's off topic.
Millions and
Angela.
millions of
That's off topic.
dollars.
Thank you,
Billions of
guys.
dollars.
We want to thank you for
Yes,
joining us here on
it's
The
the truth.
Factor for
Hallelujah.
this segment.
We need to just be better. We need to get better. Okay. So we're talking about behavior, and what is being shown in the black community is this type of behavior that the black lady has spoke at the end. I don't know if she grew up in black neighborhoods. I grew up in black neighborhoods for a good part of my life. And let me tell you, everything that people are talking about, that they're disgusted by, it is true. The being loud, being obnoxious, aggressive, confrontational, the fight or flight, always looking for a confrontation. You know, the whole, you know, what are you looking at? Looking to provoke something. You know, being able to say racial epithets with impunity, and as soon as someone says it back to you, oh, now you want to jump on this person. Now you want to beat up this person. Well, if you don't want racist things said to you, maybe you should stop saying racist things. Maybe it should start with the individual. Start with the individual. If you are an asshole, maybe you need to change yourself. So we're talking about black fatigue right now. I like to call it N-word fatigue. It needs to change. It needs to change. And if you've grown up in a predominantly black neighborhood, all black neighborhood, you know exactly what we're talking about. And if you don't recognize it, then you probably the problem. You probably the N-word we talking about.